What's the ugliest thing you've ever heard an attractive person say? It doesn't matter what it is or where I got it. You can't afford it anyway. Said by an acquaintance to an elderly lady who asked her what perfume was she wearing and where did she buy it because she smelled so nice. Such ugliness. What an idiot. People don't ask that because they're going to buy it. They ask because it's a way to give a compliment. Went on a date. This guy was way the duck out of my league and I knew it. But he wanted to meet up, so I went for it. I ended up talking about something I'm passionate about, and we had been getting along great up to this point. He looks at me and says, you know, you're super duck and annoying when you're excited. Maybe if you were less happy I'd be into this. Oh. That crushed the duck out of me and it didn't even happen to me. For real. My smile turned into a frown. This girl who was good looking and popular said if I ever got famous, I would never hug a fat fan. They would be sweaty and gross. I would hate having to be close for a picture too. Now she's fat, so full circle. Jesus. She just skipped oval? No. She skipped the elliptical. When anything good happened to any other woman. I had a roommate who would whine but she's not even pretty. New boyfriend? But she's not even pretty. Someone got the job she wanted? But she's barely an 8. Edit. Pronoun changed to clarify that it wasn't me who got the job she wanted. The barely an 8 is someone else. Is 8 bad on that scale? I would love to be considered an 8 lol. I got told I was a 5 and even then I think the person was just trying to be nice. If my child turned out to have depression I'd kick them out. Worst thing is that this girl wants a lot of kids. A very pretty girl that lived on my dorm floor in college said of another average looking girl in the dorm, I can't stand her. She acts like she thinks she's pretty. That average looking girl was an awesome person. Very genuine and smart. It made me furious. And really sad. To think someone thought she wasn't allowed to have self-confidence without being pretty. Jealousy 101. Absolutely. In retrospect, I understand that girl clearly felt she had nothing more than her looks and envied someone whose confidence didn't rely on them. My best friend had just gotten engaged. And we were at a New Year's celebration with like 20 other friends. One of my guy friends had started dating a new girl. And we were all excited to meet her. He introduces her to us. And we were talking about how other friend had gotten engaged, a new girlfriend asks to see the ring. My friend holds out her hand and immediately this girl says, "Oh my god. It's so small." We were all dumbstruck. My friend is a simple girl. And would never have wanted a big showy ring. It's just not her. My guy friend just got engaged to this girl. Who I've always gotten along with. And like a lot actually. But I will never forget that comment. First impressions really do stick. Edit. Wording. Wow. I'm surprised that my water bottle is still on my bike. Duck NG homeless in front of a homeless dude who was sitting on a bench. The homeless man then tries to say they aren't all bad people and she scoffs at him. Really lost a lot of respect for that person that day. Like yeah. There are a lot of shitty homeless people, but can we not kick someone when they are down? Girl in my high school said anyone over 200 pounds should heal themselves. Bragging about getting a girl he was hooking up with that he knew was really into him to do stuff for him. Like his dishes. Coming to pick him up after getting drunk at the bars. Bringing him stuff when he was sick. Went on to talk about how he only hooked up with ugly girls because they would do stuff like that. It was my friend's birthday and some of her hot friends came in from New Jersey. We were exiting a restaurant and this old homeless guy politely asks for some change and this one Jersey girl goes, "Some of us have jobs. You should go get one yourself," in a real nasty tone. The homeless guy replies, "I'm sorry to have bothered you. Have a good night." I was pissed. My interest immediately dropped to 0. A Playboy model named Danny May the Snapchatted a photo of an elderly and obese naked woman in her gym locker room to her followers. Her justification was that it was meant to be posted privately to her friends. That was her defense. I remember that. I will never believe she was remorseful about it. She was only sorry she got caught. Ugh. My very attractive ex said that grape is only valid if it happens to a hot girl. If they are unattractive, they should be grateful anyone would even want to touch them. He also said if a hot girl is great and he knows about it, she's instantly less attractive. Duck NG Brig. I was group mom for my daughter's ballet recital group. Another very attractive mom came to sit by me at rehearsal. She looked around the room at the other dance moms and said, "Who's here that I hate? Talk about a grown-up mean girl." Went on a blind date with a guy when I was 16. He was nice the whole time. I thought it went well. Talked to the guy who set us up. Date said that I had a nice rack but should never smile in public again. I had crooked teeth that my parents never bothered to correct with braces. That one stung. He's now some loser not paying child support and I'm a wife and mom in a nice home. Who has nice straight teeth now, D. I also never stopped smiling. Good for you. Dodged a bullet on that one. Keep on smilling. D. You so and so tried to talk to me. It pisses me off that people think just because they look good they're better than everyone. I came here to say exactly this. Just because you're attractive does not make you inherently better than anyone. Several years ago I was in a Drew Gussel checkout line behind two people. The first was an obviously homeless man who was counting out change to buy some food drinks. Right behind him was this super hot blonde woman. Dressed up. Full makeup. The works. The entire time in line, all of 3 minutes probably, she kept making very loud nasty remarks. Something smells awful, what is taking so long, and giving this poor homeless guy dirty looks. The poor guy was just trying to get something to eat and the last thing he needed was her rotten attitude. I was young and didn't have the nerve to speak up. It bothers me to this day that I didn't say anything or step in front of her to pay for whatever he wanted. If that happened today I'd loudly tell her, well, at least he's not a raving itch. My sister is one of the popular girls in high school and beauty and popularity are the primary focus of her social group. She and her friends refer to unpopular or less attractive people as irrelevance. When I went to high school, that would have got you punched. I was in the gym making some gains and there was this very attractive woman working out. You know, the one that you keep looking at cause she's so hot. Well, I walk over to the treadmill and start walking and a few minutes later she gets on the one next to me. There is this woman in there who is about 300 pounds on another treadmill further down. The attractive woman leans over to me and says, "What is that fat itch doing in here? Shouldn't she be at home eating a Twinkie?" Instead she thought I was gonna laugh cause she did one of those fake laughs. I looked at her and said, "That is duck D up that you said that. At least she is in here trying to lose some weight," and I just walked away and got on the treadmill closer to the big woman and told her to keep it up. A year and a half later the big woman lost over 150 pounds and looks great. I have done this many times because they deserve to be complimented for wanting to better themselves. Good on you and duck that lady. Why can't the homeless people just go away? I don't want to see that when I go to the park. Oh. Sorry, princess. I didn't realize their weird desire to exist was interfering with your sitting on a bench scrolling through Instagram. This was phrased perfectly. Anybody who went to college in the South and has heard Southern sorority girls talk about race, politics, or poverty has heard the most amazingly ugly things come out of the prettiest little faces you ever did see. Had a Southern girl move to my state when I was a senior in high school. She was beautiful, but oh my god was she racist. Everything that comes out of her mouth is hate. Everything that goes into it is a big dick. I had a pretty woman in my department tell me right to my face that she's going sleep with my husband during a Christmas party. I laughed it off and told her good luck. I went to another room to play poker. My husband is in another room playing pool. She tried everything from flirting to playfully try to take his cowboy hat. He keep on denying her advances. When she wrapped her arms around him while was about ready to take his shot on the table and whispered that she can give me one hell of a unforgettable BJ in a bedroom upstairs. He stood up and told her, You might be pretty on the outside, but you are one ugly old whore on the inside, and left the room. He found me and told me he was feeling ill. He didn't tell me until we got back to our house on what happened at that pool room. I was really proud of him, and after that she made my life miserable at work. Was on a date with a girl and she made a remark about how homeless people were scum trash. At the time she was technically homeless. No thanks, with a disgusted look on her face when I tried to get her to sign a petition to save the sharks. But she signed my friends to save the wolves. Let me tell you. 3rd grade me dodged a bullet. Any girl who doesn't wanna save sharks isn't worth your time. At grocery store to handicapped grocery sacker, EWW. Don't touch my food. I eat these tomatoes. I don't want to be retarded tomorrow. One time, a girl in middle school called me over to her table at lunch. She was a girl I've had a crush on for some time. Excitedly, I stood up wearing a genuine smile and followed her call. I stood next to where she was sitting. We looked at each other for a few seconds as my heart raced. It's called proactive. Use it. I'd like to say that I'm doing better than her now, but I'm simply not. Life is still shit. Edit. A bunch of super kind replies have made my night better. Thank you so much. I've never read a book, she said it like she was bragging. Oh, I've heard that one so many times. This one dude who gave me his number before I went in for treatment for my eating disorder, at 88 pounds. When I got out I was 137 pounds, at 5 feet 5 inches. I went out one day with some friends and got a text from the dude that said, "Hey, I saw you in North Hills. I didn't recognize you with all that fat on your body. What happened? You used to be so beautiful." 2 of my ex-GFs said that they really would not be able to control themselves if they were left alone with Steve Buscemi. Never understood that one at all. Maybe my mind is tricking me and I actually look like him or something. Spanish is the language of poor people. No joke. At my old work I overheard this really sweet looking girl say, "OMG, she needs to get over herself, it's only her dad that died." I gave her the coldest stare, and the look of shame on her face when she saw me was satisfying to say the least. Sophomore year of high school, this girl I had the biggest crush on and easily the most beautiful person in the school said, "Why do we even bother educating retards? Talking about a girl with Down syndrome who had given me a hug. They should just be euthanized." That crush didn't last all that long. What's bigger, 1,000 or a million? They were completely serious. When I work security at a bar, we were collecting covers and this girl came in and said, "I don't pay covers." Look at me. Seriously, look at me and look at you. You should be glad I am here. Actually, I'm not. Now get the duck out before I physically throw you out. I used to work security at big parties when I was in Charleston. One thing I loved was the fact that I didn't have to put up with people's shit. It was a good gig for a college kid. Beautiful people make ugly children. That's why I don't want children. My sister. At the beginning of college I had a huge crush on a girl in one of my classes. I was infatuated with her. One day, a guy behind her lightly tapped her on the shoulder to ask if he could see her notes since the board just got erased. Gross. Don't touch me. She immediately gained 500 pounds in my eyes. All attraction was lost. In high school I was chubby and often kept to myself since I had a terrible stutter. One day the teacher teamed me up with a pretty girl for a project. The first thing she said to me while on her phone was, "You do the work and stuff, K." I start speaking, but then she says, "Is that a yes tub tub?" Good then. I got super pissed and shouted without a single stutter, "Itch. Either you get off the duck NG phone and help or I get you an F." The look on her, and everyone else's face was priceless. Easily one of most unforgettable moments of my life. First date with a very attractive woman. The topic of transgender people had come up. She asked my opinion on the topic. At this point I stated I don't know any personally, but it doesn't bother me one bit what someone else wants to do with their lives. I figured she would nod and agree. Nope. They are destroying our civilization. Every gay and transgender you meet is slowly but surely destroying everything it means to live in harmony with others. What? Edit. Did not expect this much traction. Glad she's getting the anonymous internet bashing she deserves. Younger. Socially awkward. Heavier-set girl gets the same prom dress as a popular older girl. Older girl bullies her into taking it back and states I mean I'll look better in it anyways. It's capital A. Dress. This guy I worked with was always nice to everyone but his wife. At the Christmas party one year, he said to his wife, in front of everyone, I married you for what you look like, not for what comes out of your mouth. One of the nicest guys I've ever worked with, but he treated his wife like garbage all the time. Sweetheart, you're like an hourly employee. There's always someone twice as pretty, half as stupid and willing to do your job for half the price and twice the effort my uber attractive old roommate at Tinder date who wouldn't put out. Really attractive guy in my math class. Another girl enters the room. She's visibly overweight. Attractive guy whispers to his neighbor, disgusting. When I see someone who's that fat I just want to puke. There's no reason someone should look so repulsive. Double quote. Yeah, guess who's repulsive? Not the overweight girl. Who by the way is one of the sweetest, kindest people I know. I wish your suicide attempt succeeded so I would have never had to meet you. Said by my ex-girlfriend who met me about a month after I attempted, and came extremely close to succeeding. Suicide and was a big part of me making it through that very dark time in my life. Ironically, this helped me get over her, as it really drove home how much she had changed and how I was holding on to memories of a person that no longer exists. This was a few weeks ago. Attack on the teen crisis floor of a psychiatric ward. I worked there as the education director for a year. Was talking to a nurse about a teenage boy who had been admitted for trying to kill himself because he was gay and being bullied. The tech, whose job is to keep the kid safe and help them cope emotionally in time of crisis, said if he were my kid I'd just beat the queer out of him. He was talking loudly and the boy's bedroom was very close. I reported him the next morning. He still had a job. Not even sure if he got in trouble.